Welcome back to Let's Play the Punisher. Entering a whole new world of violence today. And I'm quite looking forward to it.
Yeah, this should be an interesting one.
The Nucci's drugs coming through the city docks, which are controlled by a Russian mercenary syndicate. I'm gonna cut the flow off at the harbor.
Going for the Russians.
Going up in the world, technically.
Indeed. I'm going to start off with our machine gun, which is excellent because now we have reloads for it. Last time we only had one clip. And I'll try the machine pistols as well, because why not?
I can think of a couple of reasons, but sure, LP.
We'll find out why not later.
So you cleaned out the Nucci drug operations. Hooray! All the city's problems solved with the proper application of bullets.
Except the drugs didn't stop flowing, did they, Castle? The Nucci's had other ways of getting drugs from the city docks and out onto the streets.
It's just like Ulysses fighting that lion in Roman legend. Chop off one head, and two more appear.
Soap. That's Hercules fighting the Hydra, and it's a Greek legend.
Yeah, whatever. It's still a good metaphor.
Analogy.
Whatever.
Anyway,
Just quit while you're ahead,
when the drugs kept flowing, you decided to investigate the docks for yourself.
You found out some new boys were in town, didn't you, Frank?
And a new girl, too.
Interesting that Richtofen is interested in the girl.
Yeah. She is canonically lesbian in the comics, so...
Weird that I called that from just that line.
Let go of me, pigs!
Take her inside. Find out what she knows.
I know that voice.
So the first few kills on the docks aren't even Frank Castle's.
Who cares? As long as they're not shooting at us.
You are a dumbass, Yuri.
Yuri? Is that...
Kinda disappointing you couldn't toss one of them off the side.
Sure I can.
Well, so much for that.
What's stopping me? This game is practically open world with how many creative options you have for kills.
Yeah, so pity there isn't anything more like this. Closest would probably be Mad World when it comes to rewarding creativity.
Yeah, I feel like there's other games that really insist on you coming up with your own ways to kill people, but I can't think of any.
Just wait here for the police, okay?
Yeah, I'm sure that'll work.
Pretty much the only thing they tell you about scoring in the manual is to use as much variety as possible.
Yeah.
Which is not really a very good tip because you do lose points for killing people the same way over and over again. But quick kills are always more points than gun kills, which are always more points than explosive kills.
Yeah, it's not quite Devil May Cry in terms of rewarding variety.
This is a catch and release dock.
Not even close. Quips are back. Frank's gonna have a really good time in this stage.
Dumpster grenades, my favorite kind.
Frank is obsessed with saving bullets for some reason.
Well, if he doesn't have enough bullets, he can't make them go into the faces of the bad men.
Technically true, but I thought putting bullets in them was his favorite part.
Well, that's why he has to save them. So he has enough to shove in their faces.
Makes some kind of strange sense that that would be what he's obsessed with.
Looks like a new gun there.
Was it? I wasn't paying attention.
Looked like an AK variant,
Oh yeah.
of which there are billions.
They're all surprisingly different in effect when you're actually using them, but very, very similar when you're not.
There is Sergey and his group. You're worried? Go look for them.
Kinda spoiled who our friend is, but maybe you weren't paying attention because we were talking over it.
Because we're just so gosh darn charming.
It's one of the things I don't like about the game is that they have numerous opportunities to have really fun surprises for the player, and they always spoil them immediately beforehand.
Yeah. On the one hand, I can understand, because, you know, the one thing I always hated about, like, Doom was monster closets. You know, those were never fun. But on the other hand, you never really feel like you're in danger of being punked by a bunch of enemies.
At the end of Pier.
You break it, you bought it.
Yeah, it's more like the reveals.
Hmm.
They always say, okay, Manucci's gonna die at the end of this level, and your upcoming ally is this and this.
Yeah, it's... On the other hand, it's not really that kind of game.
Not at all, but I kinda wish it was, at least a little bit.
It would be nice if they were a little less obvious at times.
Yeah.
Oh, hello.
What's that at our feet? Say hello to my little friend, as they say.
With a depressingly small blast radius.
Yeah, it's less effective than the actual frag grenades, but it's still very, very effective.
Yeah. Also, slightly more rapid fire. Why is that guy surrendered up there?
I have no fucking clue. I've never seen him surrender before.
That is ridiculous.
Yep. Amateur indeed.
Doesn't even know where to surrender. I mean, come on.
Yeah. Like the two guys up there were snipers, and they can deal you a ton of damage if you get anywhere near this area before you kill them. But they're fairly inaccurate if you stay at the far end of the docks.
They're also a complete bitch to hit.
Oh yeah. Usually they're quite a challenge. If you get lucky with a random grenade, it's usually to your benefit.
Well, that's the end of the grenade fun.
Yeah, the problem with the grenade launcher is that it only holds 6 rounds and maybe 2 reloads at full ammo.
Yeah.
But let's try out this new AK.
I mean, the ammo capacity increases, I believe, give you at least 1 reload each for most weapons. But I remember there was very much diminishing returns when it came to stuff like the grenade launcher and the gun that we had at the start. What was that again?
Oh, the
50 cal.
Yeah. So hopefully upgrades will improve that somewhat, because right now the grenade launcher is useless if you take it into a level.
Basically.
It's not even really an option.
I mean, we're still not at the point where there's enough enemies to warrant justifying something that explosive.
Mm-hmm. For the most part, it's just fun.
And it's nice that they let us have it this early, but you don't really get much of a chance to use it.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least not much of a chance to use it and not feel like you're wasting it.
Tell me everything.
Yeah.
And I'll make it quick.
I do not believe you.
This interrogation again.
I do not know what you want.
Still pretty damn difficult. In fact, a little more difficult because, as we mentioned, the interrogations do get harder. People are harder to break in later levels. Maybe it's just my imagination, but Russians don't want to give it up.
That's what she said. Seriously, what the hell, man?
There he is. And his information was completely worthless.
Order a Russian kebab to go.
But his murder was a delight.
He sounded really enthusiastic about that one.
Yeah.
Did that actually cut off his arm?
Maybe. I wasn't paying attention again.
Become tiresome.
What are you doing here?
I'm on vacation.
This vacation can be made permanent.
Ah, you heard that line in a movie, yes? Persuade this, comrade!
So here's our new friend, and she's pretty awesome.
What
Yep,
the hell are you
Natasha
doing at
Romanova,
Castle?
aka Black Widow.
I let
Yes,
them
indeed.
capture me, you fool.
Good match for Frank Castle.
A stolen Russian nuke is coming in by freighter tonight. I'm taking it back. Why are you here?
Just hosing down the docks.
Good timing.
And it's sort of worth noting that Frank is not here because of meeting the Russians in the last level. He's just here because there is criminal activity at the docks, and killing everybody is what he does.
As far as he's aware, you know, he's only here because he thinks the Nucci's are involved.
Yeah, he's basically just stumbled upon to the bigger plot on accident.
Yeah, that's pretty much how most of the game goes. You know, he goes, I am going to kill someone. Oh wait, here's a bigger bunch of people to kill. Oh wait, here's an even bigger bunch of people to kill.
Sort of what happened with the crack house in the very beginning, and it's just been escalating from there.
Exactly.
Let's find some more.
So yeah, Black Widow. Pretty long history in the comics. She's been around since early 60s, I think. As the name would suggest, at one point she did have a connection to the Romanov dynasty of Russia, Russian Tsars, but that's kind of been forgotten over the years. She's actually... There's one or two things about her history which have been kind of forgotten, mainly the fact that she's been around since World War II. She was taken into the Russian equivalent of the Super Soldier program that created Captain America. She was given enhancements to improve her lifespan, give her enhanced strength and agility and so on, and also give her super healing.
So that's all interesting because most people know her for the movies, and none of that is the case in those.
Yeah, most people are going to be familiar with the Scarlett Johansson version, who is pretty much the single best version that has been.
I never found her interesting in the movies, mostly because all the other characters are so much more interesting.
True, but when you consider that in the movies, you know, her and Hawkeye are basically unenhanced humans as far as we know.
Yeah.
Considering that they can stand up against guys like Iron Man and Captain America, if you think about it for, you know, a couple of minutes, you realize exactly how badass they are.
Yeah, that is true.
Also the fact that in various adaptations like cartoons and that, they're usually sidelined as, you know, bit parts. Whereas in, for example, the Marvel movies, they're actually given key roles.
The shipment has arrived, as scheduled, and it is as promised. Is it ready yet?
She does actually have a long history with Hawkeye. She teamed up with him in order, because she was originally a bad guy, working on behalf of the Russians before she defected. And she started off as, well, she sort of recruited Hawkeye to go up against Captain America, Iron Man. Because she started off as an Iron Man villain, which is also another thing that a lot of people don't know, or is forgotten in modern comics.
Yeah, wow, that's the first I'm hearing of it.
Yeah, so the pair of them were actually... Really? That's not how you play Shufflepuck. I'm pretty sure this isn't a regulation Shufflepuck board.
Well, I was trying.
And he's not a regulation Shufflepuck.
Frank's having a good time. At this point, he's just fucking around.
He's murdering people. Of course he's having a good time.
Yeah, it's a sadism playground. And he's got an audience this time. It's wonderful.
I came out here to attack people, and I'm honestly having such a good time right now.
Is Black Widow a killer in the comics? Because that's fairly uncommon.
Yes. She does normally when she's around with the Avengers.
Yeah.
Because, you know, she's got guys like Captain America.
Exactly.
Who has killed in canon. I mean, the guy was in World War II. Pretty hard to escape that.
True.
But while he was frozen, she's been active since, you know, the 1930s. But in her own solo missions, if someone gets in her way and there's no other way around it, she'll off people. You know, she has no qualms about it.
Nice, so she is a very good fit for Frank Castle.
Yep. Hasn't had many crossovers with them, despite that, though. I mean, there's been a few times where they've been in bigger crossovers, like Civil War.
Yeah.
But in terms of actual team-ups, there's only two that I could find. One was quite recent, which was one issue in Punisher's solo book and one in Black Widow's.
Takagi-san sent us to intercept Russian ship.
Important plot point there.
Yep.
But the story was basically one issue told from two different viewpoints. I haven't read it, but apparently it's quite decent.
Sort of makes sense that they wouldn't cross over too much because they're both relatively minor characters in the overall canon.
Yeah, I mean, Black Widow is more important by virtue of the fact that she pals around the Avengers quite frequently. She's pretty much a mainstay in the Avengers lineup, has been for years.
At warehouse door, use code 7729. Won't set off alarm.
Castle, the only real connection they have is S.H.I.E.L.D. She has worked for S.H.I.E.L.D. quite frequently. She was a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent for quite some time. Nick Fury, former director of S.H.I.E.L.D., BFFs with Frank Castle. But despite that, they really haven't, you know, wandered into each other's worlds too often.
Yeah.
The only other major team-up, Marvel was doing a series of animated movies.
Castle, watch out! About time you got here. Let's move!
With Japanese studios, which is where the Iron Man anime, or Iron Manime, and the X-Men series came about. They did another one last year, which was Punisher and Black Widow. She was voiced by Jennifer... what was her name again?
Jennifer Hale, perhaps?
No, Jennifer Carpenter, that's it. Played Dexter's sister in the TV show.
Right.
Chum told me to try 7729.
Not Dexter's Lab, just before anyone starts getting any weird.
Dee Dee, you mean?
Yeah, not Dee Dee, no. And Frank Castle was played by the guy who played Varric in Dragon Age. He's been in quite a lot of other bits and pieces. That's probably what he's best known for.
So while those Russians are busy making sure that corpse is dead, I'm going to do something horrible to them. Knock him out. Get 250 cals.
Oh dear. See how they like it.
That did the job.
I think that did enough for a battalion.
Certainly could have. I didn't even use half the clips on either of them.
Seriously.
The engine sounds very good, Peter.
One final test. Engage the drive shaft.
Careful. Stand back from the propeller. Those blades look sharp.
They're just begging for it.
Oh, seriously.
Punisher is salivating at this point. Don't kill him, Black Widow. What are you doing?
So...
Watch this, buddy. He actually unsurrenders because that's so horrible.
I know nothing about such things. Truly, I know of no nuke. Oh.
Almost.
Please, I do not know. Here, keys to a weapon locker.
Like a manatee at a boat race.
Really?
And I never thanked him.
I'll never have the chance to tell him he was my hero.
He's just so much more whimsical in this level than he was in the last one.
Yes, it's bizarre.
Yep, he's having a blast.
He's coming out with honest-to-God jokes. What the hell?
You do that. I'll go look for more Russians to kill.
Be careful. They will be expecting
As he
you
skipped
now.
off with childlike glee.
Keep this party rolling.
So yeah, the Punisher and Black Widow movie, it's apparently decent, but
Let's see if anyone
mediocre.
suspecting me.
You know, nothing special. But the most of the Marvel stuff that isn't, you know, a live-action movie it's basically all of the same quality, you know?
Yeah. It sounded very interesting from the description, but I certainly did not get my hopes up.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't seen it myself. I'm just going by reviews that I've seen online, but
Yeah.
the general consensus seems to be it's decent if you've got time to kill, but don't go looking for it because you're a fan of either character.
That's too bad.
Yeah.
Because it's very much the concept that I would like to see made into a movie.
Yeah, I mean, it is a great idea. You know,
Yep.
It's just that the execution seems to be kind of lacking.
Yeah. Really tends to be the case with all Punisher movies.
Yeah. I mean, we've argued about this in the past, but I still say the Tom Jane Punisher is really the only enjoyable one in the series.
And I find them all enjoyable, but none of them any good.
Yeah. Something to be enjoyable and not that great, you know.
Yep.
Let's not be snobs here, just because we're on the internet talking about things.
Gave us another grenade launcher, which was nice of them.
Yeah.
Big wide areas tend to be pretty good for grenade launchers.
Yeah. Areas like this, you'll find that you're essentially sniping with the grenade launcher, which is a baffling concept, but it works, you know.
Yeah. In tighter hallways, you are at severe risk of blowing yourself up.
Yep. It also doesn't help that we've still got the machine pistols as our sidearm, which, as we said, past sneezing distance, you might as well be pelting them with popcorn for all the good it does.
Mm-hmm.
The
AK is half decent at going across the room, but still not nearly as good as, say, a grenade launcher.
Yeah. It's like we're starting to get some decent weapons, but even still, the bullet spread for most of them really makes them unsuited for open combat like this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The AK is the best in terms of accuracy and in damage. It does a lot more damage than the other guns, so you only need to hit once or twice, but it can still be hard.
Yep. Towards the end, though, we will be getting some amazing weaponry.
Unfortunately, so will the enemies. That's where we'll be getting them from, in fact.
Yep. Some of the guns towards the game are not just my favourite, but also really good for whole-scale slaughter.
But they'll be upping the challenge of the game considerably.
Oh, yes.
How would I know? I do not even know what it is.
This is true. They tell us nothing.
They worry that drunks like you will tell all you know.
I know there were more than drugs on the last ship, eh?
And this delivery is special, which is why we patrol carefully tonight.
Yuri, is that you?
Then they immediately spot us.
He will kill us all!
Yeah, that's the plan.
Yep. We basically don't even need to interrogate this guy, because he just spilled his guts to the open air.
But, you know, he's there, and we're there, so...
Yeah. We're not going to miss an opportunity.
I mean, would you really want to see him stop smiling for just a second?
Where's the nuke?
Oh, what nuke? What are you talking about? This is no nuke, I swear it. Oh, I know.
You're not good at this, Yuri.
Believe me.
Bad entry. Gonna hurt your score.
We know all about how scoring can be difficult.
Oh, yes. Scoring is Frank Castle's life's ambition.
And off into a nice, quiet walkway here.
This doesn't look like a trap.
Now this is a Sunday stroll.
First one to make a Sneak Eater reference gets tossed off a pier.
That ladder wasn't nearly long enough.
It's never stopped nerds before.
True.
Freaking nerds.
Like cracking a guy's skull.
They're the worst with their crazy amount of knowledge about Black Widow.
Yeah, what a bunch of losers. And yes, we are dropping a crane onto a boat repeatedly.
Yep, it's very awkward.
And the boat is coming off worse. That crane was actually an escapee from the Weapon X project, much like Wolverine and Deadpool, believe it or not.
Ah, yes, of course. It's an adamantium crane.
Really crappy mutant power, but he serves his job. Hey, they can't all have useful mutations. What about the guy with 5 elbows? Don't hear much about him, do you?
Look at our beautiful handiwork.
Yep, not the biggest act of collateral damage we'll take part in before the game is out.
Not even close. Just a mere Titanic.
Haha, kill me now.
All in a day's work. He's here somewhere as they're shooting at me.
Fire in his general direction, maybe we'll hit something.
This area can go real tits up.
Yeah.
But fortunately it hasn't.
Really, it all depends on how quickly the enemies trigger.
Yeah. If they start getting the first shot like that group did, then you can get really wrecked. I've died in these rooms before.
Oh yeah.
Looks like you lose, no?
Black Widow needs to find a better way to meet men.
Remember how she met you?
There's no other way.
Yeah, now that he's back in comedy mode, he has to leave slaughter mode.
It's like a toggle.
For most of this stage, he's been remembering Bushwhacker's death during slaughter mode. One of his proudest moments.
That would explain the big grin.
You are both going to
And possibly the bulge in his pants.
That's where he keeps his sidearms.
I'll bet.
And we turn around for 1 second, Black Widow kills her captor.
Yeah. Worth remembering, she's also a top level combatant. She could quite easily beat Captain America to a standstill if she tried. You know, and he's considered one of the best traditional combatants in the Marvel Universe. I mean, when you get to guys like Iron Fist who are trained in magical kung fu, I mean literal magical kung fu, gets a bit skewed, but in a regular stand-up fight, she's one of the best.
Yeah, it is great to see a female companion in a video game who is neither romantic interest nor helpless.
Yeah, the best we're doing is providing a distraction so that she can rescue herself.
Really, if you want to get a half-decent score, you have to stop her from kill-stealing.
explosives! That is the only way!
Now my boots are all sticky.
That warehouse is next. Let's go.
What we're doing is basically what happened in her appearance in the Avengers, where she's tied up, getting the crap beaten out of her, and she's like, "Yeah, this guy told me all I needed to know," and the poor guy's been beaten on, and he's like, "No, I didn't." "Yes, you did. I'm going to have to hurt you now." You know, that's exactly what she's like. People underestimate her because she's a woman, and then find out that they've been force-fed their own knees 3 seconds later.
It's refreshing for a comic book character.
Yep. A lot of people think that
Ladies first.
Storm from the X-Men is probably the closest Marvel equivalent to DC's Wonder Woman, but really it's Black Widow.
Yeah, I'd say so.
It's just that Black Widow's a little bit more obscure, whereas, you know, Storm is one of the foremost X-Men these days.
I'd almost rather see a nuke.
Yes, indeed. We have seen our fate, and it is most horrible.
Yep. And we're going to try and shoot it with a gun.
Yep. Which I just wanted to demonstrate is pointless. Does literally no damage. Because it's a tank.
Yeah, what the hell, man?
Yeah.
So this always kind of reminded me of the Fortune boss fight from Metal Gear Solid 2. And that you're being faced with an enemy with a, you know, stupidly explosive weapon, cheerfully tearing away the cover around you, and you can't do shit against it for the most part.
Yeah. You just gotta start playing catch-up once you get to hold the grenade launcher.
Yep. And if you're not fast enough, it's quite easy to see all of your cover whittled away.
Mm-hmm. And as we've discussed, the dodge mechanic is quite awkward. You don't want to be relying on that to dodge tank missiles.
Yeah, I mean, it's dodgy enough, no pun intended, when it comes to avoiding bullets, but when it comes to avoiding explosives, you know, it's literally 50-50 as to whether or not you'll survive.
Yep. And survival is indeed the goal here, because the tank shells do about half of the Punisher's health. Sometimes more.
And slaughter mode in this area is next to useless. So you can see there, most of the cover on the left-hand side is gone.
Mm-hmm. You can accidentally blow it up yourself as well.
Yeah, I may have done that a few times.
Once you get the hang of it, though, you can just rain fire upon him. Reload ammo when you need to.
Yeah. I mean, once you get past the initial shock of, Jesus Christ, it's a fucking tank.
Yeah.
Because this is really a boss that relies on intimidation, surprisingly.
Mm-hmm.
Too bad Black Widow missed all the fun.
We don't accept surrender.
We don't negotiate with terrorists. We blow them up. That was a really bad Punisher impression, but I don't apologize for it. Yes, she actually did that. And it was awesome.
Thank God it's not Kate Winslet. Wait. Beckinsale.
The nuclear device also will not wait. There are 2 Russian freighters arriving tomorrow night. The device is on one of them. Which, I do not know.
One ship for each of us.
You investigate the Igor Baltiski. I will take the Red Guardian.
Why couldn't we take the one that we can pronounce?
Igor Blavatsky? What?
Oh well. Apparently exploiting that ship in the harbor didn't do anything.
No.
Just for fun.
So in the space of one night, we killed every Nucci on the planet, pissed off the Russians, and the Yakuza, didn't find any drugs, or did we? I forget.
Nope. Not a drug to be found there.
This is an American update of a Russian classic. Fires 7.62mm rounds in semi-automatic or 3-round bursts.
And we also didn't get the nuke. Fun.
Still not a waste.
This weapon holds up to 6 40mm grenades in a rotating cylinder, firing 1 round per second. Not a barrel to be on the wrong end of.
Very true. Never seen an enemy use it, though.
I think some do towards the end, but...
Probably.
Might be wrong.
Now, I ground up some points by replaying old missions, and you have to score higher than your previous best in order to get new points. That was rather difficult, but we need them because the next mission is about 10 times harder than anything we've seen yet.
Yeah, this next mission is a major stopping point. Not really because it's hard, because it is a rat's nest.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you thought chasing down Bobby Nucci was hard, this is a whole nother level. No pun intended.
Yeah, it's gruesome. So hopefully those upgrades will allay things slightly, but they're not going to give us the upper hand by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah, it's not a fun level by any measure.
And here's our new Russian foes.
Krikov.
Yes, indeed. He is apparently a rather important character.
Yep. Vaguely based on a character from the Punisher Max run, but we'll get into that when he actually makes an appearance.
Yes. He looks like a stumpy doof in that picture, but...
You won't be saying that once you hear who he's based on, believe me.
Well, I'm looking forward to that, then. And I'm not looking forward to the Igor Baltiski.
Yep, that one's gonna be a marathon.
Yep, see you for that.
Bye.